Every year there's one horror movie that captures the attention of mainstream audiences, and this year it is Longlegs. Literally one of the greatest openings to a horror movie ever. Longlegs has one of the best openings I've seen all year. I was hooked from the opening scene of Longlegs. What a freaking movie. Don't know if I'll ever be able to stop analyzing and thinking about this scene. Absolutely rancid, cursed vibes that had me scared to enter my dark hotel room. So I was prepped for this movie. Love horror, love Osgood Perkins. This is a movie for me, and I found it kind of mediocre because it was unsettling at points. There are these great shots with these wide angles that create this sense of unease because of how wide the lens is. You get these great backgrounds of these hallways, these long, stretching areas where it's just vacant. What's in there? What's going on? Who could be watching her? And it gives you that sense of unease. However, there are points of it where it feels unintentionally funny to me. I found myself laughing more than I wished I did, and it was either because Nicolas Cage's performance was completely over the top at points, to the point where it didn't work, or because I just didn't get on board with the story here. And that's my biggest issue with it, is the story and the characters are not that good. The story is so predictable from the jump. I can't tell you how easy it is to predict what's going to happen from scene to scene. The scenes that work are the ones where Micah Monroe's character goes to interrogate Longlegs, and you get this just kind of uncomfortable feeling between the two, and then he smashes his face on the table and explodes his face. That's a scene that actually works tension-wise. You have this great tension between the two characters as they're talking and learning about each other, and then you have this explosive climax. That's a great scene. Then a lot of them are like, oh, there's a creepy figure out in the distance. Oh, she goes out with a gun. What's out there? Okay, it's a letter left on her table. Oh, is he in the house still? And then hard cut to a jump scare. And that's made worse when you cut to Nicolas Cage, who is hamming it up from one scene to another, especially the scene when he's in the car and he starts singing and he's like, he's doing his Nicolas Cage thing. And again, that's not helped by this plot. It's a police procedural that's infused with jump scares. It's nothing we haven't seen before, and it's done in a way with great execution at points with the direction, but without great writing. A lot of the police stuff is just flimsy at best, and often Micah Monroe is either finding the clues by just divine inspiration. She looks at a house and says, he's in there, and then he's in there. Not really great for a storytelling thing. And then that's dropped for her to just have Longlegs give her all the clues she needs to not only find him, but crack the plot underneath him. Because there's a whole nother thing going on under the surface here.
What aren't you telling me?
He'll kill. And kill again.
And I find this style of storytelling and writing incredibly unsatisfying and uninspired. She's not really doing much on her own. She's mostly just stumbling in between narrative cul-de-sacs and plot points that fizzle out. Oh, she has divine inspiration. Is it because of Satan? Maybe, I don't know. But then she doesn't really use it again. She shows up at a cabin at one point, and there's literally crosses that are pointing her where she needs to go. And the ending is so see-through because of that. One of the first scenes in the movie is the intense police chief showing Micah Monroe his family. And it's like, oh, we have a father, a mother, and a child who was born on the 14th. And the very first piece of evidence you learn about the killer is that he uses some witchcraft to kill a family of a father, a mother, and a kid whose birthday's on the 14th. So what's gonna happen? I wonder. At the end of the day, I found this movie passable. I have a lot to say about it and its story and its characters, but I do find a lot of what Osgood Perkins is doing behind the camera pretty interesting. With the right script, he can make something genuinely great, and I'm excited to see where he'll go from here. I'll see everything he's going to do. I just found myself maybe a victim of my expectations of this one. I like Osgood Perkins. I loved what I was seeing coming out of the early screenings, and then I kind of got a generic police procedural with a little bit of supernatural voodoo shit in it, and I was like, okay, I've seen this before. I've seen it a million times. It's just slightly elevated with good craftsmanship. It just didn't seem like it knew what it wanted to be. Is it a generic jump scare a minute type of movie? Kinda. Is it a grotesque serial killer movie? Yeah, kind of. Is it full of unease and mounting dread? Yeah, kind of. Is it a satanic movie? Yeah, kind of. Is it a possession movie? Yeah, kind of. It's so many things that it ends up not really being anything. We needed a great story to take twists and turns to hide some of the generic material or to make it super graphic, and it It is at times, but not enough to make up for that. It needed to be more intense when sometimes it's more jump scary. It needed to be more grounded when sometimes it's a little over the top. It just can't seem to pick a lane. It just can't seem to decide what it really wants to be. I'm looking forward to Nosferatu, though.